There's a couple of things here. I use this technique for MET on STR, MET on psoas all the time, and I like it. And there's 2 or 3 different ways of doing it. Thomas test modified, people hanging off the end of the couch, and then they hold their leg up, hold against you, and then let it step out behind you on the modified test. That works incredibly well too. I quite like this because I can incorporate some work on the head of the femur as well. So I've done lots of work with people that have had replacement hips, and often psoas gets very tight, and you can do the things we've just been doing, but also MET on psoas, and also getting the head of the femur to extend back as well is important. And I hope that kind of you can understand that. But let me explain the 2 different ways of doing it. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to stand here. The game plan is about stretching the psoas by lifting the leg out. So that's it. That's the concept. I'm going to drop my hand underneath Steph's knee. I'm going to put one hand on the back of the sacrum, just in here, and my game plan, the stretch is going to be this. Right, so that's the stretch. I tend to do it because I find you can, if you want to, get a pillow or a block or something and come under here and just hold that and let that kind of give a good stretch. I find that the rocking move works well because it kind of gets the receptors moving on psoas because it is such a strong postural stabilizer for the pelvis and our bodies. I quite like doing it through movement, which is slightly different, but I'm going to teach you it, and then you can decide to do modified Thomas test where you hang it off the end of the couch, or you can do this one, or of course both. It's entirely up to you. And you know, you'll get one client where this works incredibly well and you think, smashed it. Other clients where you think, actually I need another couple of tools in my toolkit, actually let's get you into modified position, or let's get you sideline. Yeah, so like always, everybody's different, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I'll show you 2 techniques here, which are very similar, but the positioning on my left hand is different. First one is on the side of the sacrum. I get Steph to just squash my finger, so she's engaging her psoas by just pushing my hand down. 5 to 10 seconds, as we've always done, and then relax, and then take a breath in for me. And then I press and stabilise here, and I lift here. Now I do it as a rocking move, and it feels a bit silly, and you look a twit, but it's really effective. If you try and do it like this, you really hurt your back and your shoulder. So engage core, make yourself look like a sort of a weirdo, and it kind of works nicely. I might not do this on somebody who's a big rugby player. I might do off the end of the couch, modified Thomas test, because then it just works easier for my physical bit. So I do this 3 times like we'd always do. So push into a hand again, and just hold for 5, 10 like we normally do. Hand on the back of the sacrum, relax, and do the same. All right, so I do that MET. Oh, that's feeling easier actually, isn't it? And you can feel the difference usually after the first time. And I'll do it one more time, and so you can do the right hip, and then relax. Okay, so that's my MET on psoas. Now I want to do the head of the femur. So this hand then comes into the head of the femur in the back of the glute. And I usually go in with a fist. Can go in with the palm, but I quite like the straight fist. And I'm trying to find the head of the greater trochanter here, coming up, so that I know that the head of the femur is about there. And I want to squash that down into the couch. And as I'm holding that down, then I'm doing my move. So push into my hand again. She engages, so she's flexing. And then I relax, and then I hold, and I do this move.
I don't like it.
No. It's a different move altogether, and it feels quite different. And then push down again.
So the same.
And relax. So everything's the same, apart from the positioning of my left hand. Now I'm into, you feel different there?
Yeah.
So first time always feels, bloody hell. And then second time you think, oh yeah. Push down again. Relax. Stabilising that head of the femur. Great for people who have had rack fan damage, or as I say, replacement hips. Great stuff. So I've done lots of times where I've done work on psoas. People come in and they're a bit shuffly, and they're tight through here. I do psoas and they're still shuffly, and then I do this head of the femur work, and they suddenly come forward, and I think, oh right, okay. So it's almost like resetting the head of the femur back a bit in its socket. So I don't know if it does that, but it just feels different. And you'll feel if you get up and walk, you think, oh, my left leg just feels different.
Okay. When you're doing the MET that time, is she again pushing down
Yeah,
into your hand
everything's the
with
same,
knee, but
apart
not
from my left hand.
pushing up into your other hand?
Yeah, everything's the same. It's just sacrum or head of femur.
When you're just doing the Thomas test one, that's just literally just.
That's the Thomas test modified. Should we do that? Should I just quickly do that? Just whiz over. And then, should we whiz around that way so Phil can film this end? So client sits at the end of the couch, normal, just perches on the edge, rolls back, both knees up into your chest. Both knees on the chest.
Close enough to the edge of the couch.
Yeah. I'm just going to demo. I always look after the client's neck. Let's do this leg near the camera. So hold this leg up. I let this leg come down. And I get a range movement. Yeah, be careful, body language, tail management, standing between somebody's legs, get that right. Don't shortchange in that way. So then I can come up into this position. Now you can just get the client just to hold it, but I tend to just come in a little bit and then ask her to push her knee up to her face. Now she's really engaging psoas. To 5 to 10, and then relax. And then, I'll go this way so you can feel me. Hold here and drop here. And then get that stretch. And you can get that obvious stretch through size. So this way is really nice. If you've got a big person and you really need to get some movement in, this works incredibly well.
Is there any way you can't do the
Head of the femur.
the head of the finger thing?
No. Feels really nice.
It's quite
And then of course,
intense.
legs up, hold the client and be careful, bring people out or roll them off or whatever. Just be careful when you get people out of this position. Particularly if they're frail. If they're strong and big, obviously that's easy. I mean, Steph is not, she just jumps off. But just be careful about getting people on. Some people can feel a bit dizzy when they come up and all that kind of stuff. Customer care. Thanks, Phil.